All right, so here's part 2 of the findings. If you are not muted, do you mind just muting yourself just in case? All right, so we're going to talk about success and life balance. This was Melanie Mitro, and she is, if you didn't know, the 4-time top coach of the year.
You guys, she's created 75 diamond coaches. 75. Can you even imagine? And she's only been coaching for 6 years. So to put it into perspective, I've been coaching for 3 years. By the time she was 3 years in, she was already a top coach. Right? The math would add up. So how insane is that? She is definitely somebody who knows what the hell she's talking about.
Were you going to take this one?
You can totally do it, but that 75 diamond thing, I was telling Britt, he was like, oh my gosh, listen to her.
So crazy. All right, so success and life balance with Melanie. Biggest thing was that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. You need to have a clear direction and you need to be organized. That's really what it boils down to. Can you devote the time? These are some questions you need to ask yourself and make sure that your family is on board with you. What time can you devote to this business? What sacrifices can you make for this business? And why the goal that you have. So if it's elite, if it's diamond, what does that goal mean for you? Not your upline, not, no one else but you. And your family needs to be on board with this because Melanie actually had a pretty big story that she shared with us that she was just on her phone constantly working, and her husband resented her and resented the business and said, you can either pick Beachbody or pick your family. So he gave her an ultimatum because she was working. So she was forced, obviously she was with her family, but they figured out a way to make this work for all of them. So she sets timers. So you guys, it's really important. I'm starting to implement this as well, but set timers and set your business hours and don't go over those. Okay. Beachbody is part of your life. Beachbody should not run your life, but what she said, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk like I'm her, but she's a Google Calendar. And so she will schedule first her family time, then her workouts. So family time is number 1 for her, and then her workouts. And then she schedules her personal business time where she does the vital behaviors. Personal business time does not include talking to her coaches or messaging coaches back. It is her business. And you guys, she said 80-20. 80% is your business, 20% is your team. Because you need to be leading by example. So then she schedules calls. Hello. And then she schedules her team time. So creating content and one-on-one calls with her coaches. The calls beforehand are oh my gosh, what am I blanking on? Opportunity calls, business opportunity calls and stuff like that, or like going live and stuff like that. That's what I mean by calls. The team time is creating content and actually speaking to your current team. Communicate this plan with your family because, like I said, everybody needs to be on board, and sync it to their calendar. Discuss your goals and what needs to happen, and then schedule your unplugged time and do not have your phone with you. Like, I am so guilty of this, you guys. My phone is always in my hand. And we need to really just live by example and be present. So one big thing that she does every day and every week is she talks about her 3 priorities. So what are your priorities for the week? Whether it's signing coaches, whether it's a certain number of Success Club points. And then on your top 3, you start on Monday and you work down that list. And then you have each day's really important, like who mentioned me their story? You have whatever is most important, so you just work down from that list. So set timers. And, work in power pockets, you guys. She used to type as fast as she could during nap time because she didn't know when nap time would be over. So she utilized that time as much as she could. Yeah. There's actually something called Acuity Scheduler that she actually gives to her team, so that they can actually schedule calls with her and they can pick a time that works for them. She obviously has a very large team, you guys, so it's harder to schedule things with their team. But I thought that was a really cool little resource if you do need something like that, that it can sync in with your schedule. But always be thinking about where you can invest your time and where you can be more efficient. We should always be reevaluating our behavior, because if it's not balanced, then there needs to just be the ebbs and the flows, right? Invest your time where you're going to get a return on your investment. And we mean that by financially. What are you doing that's bringing money back into you? You want to be paid for your time. If you're working 2-3 hours a day, but you're not making any money off of it, you're working for free, and no one wants to do that. So that was the biggest thing with her, was just making a schedule and scheduling your personal time and your business time.
And I was telling Janelle earlier, like, this talk really, really hit home for me, because I am totally guilty of, my husband gets home and I just hardly work my business anymore, because he's military, he's not here a lot, he leaves for, large chunks of time. And so when he's here, I want to take advantage of that. But then my business lacks. And so I told him, I said, she had this talk with her husband where they agreed how many hours a week she would put into it. And he were on board with that, because he wasn't on board with getting home from work and her saying, here are the kids, bye, and locking herself in a room. You know what I mean? Which, hey, that's me. So they made a schedule, and every week they do this. And this is what my husband and I are going to start doing. I'm going to start waking up earlier. And I've always used my kids as an excuse not to. They sleep in bed with me by morning, and if I wake up, they wake up. But I told Janelle, I'm going to put my stuff on my nightstand so I don't even have to get out of bed in the morning. I can wake up, I can shoot out some messages, I can do a few minutes of planning, and then when they wake up, that's fine. My phone and my computer go away. My husband and I, we're going to decide what nights of the week I'm going to work and what nights we're going to hang out. Maybe we'll start off every other night. Maybe, tonight, obviously, I'm working. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to devote X amount of time, an hour or two, to my business while he does his own thing. And then Tuesday night, it is strictly us. No phones, no computer, no nothing. We know ahead of time that that is our night. That is the night that I am present with him and my business, and wait till the next morning. Melanie said, and I wrote this down word for word, she said, you don't have a lack of time. You have a lack of organization and direction. And so we all have the same 24 hours she does. And when she started this, I think she was working full time, and she had a 6-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And so it 100% can be done. Yes, however many hours of your day are devoted to your outside job, but that just means you really, really need to plan and maximize the time that you do have for Beachbody. Whether or not it's an hour a day, you wake up 30 minutes earlier, which, yeah, it can really suck, but you'll get in the habit of it. The same way you guys have gotten in the habit of all of these 80-day obsession things that you thought were going to be impossible. Look at you now. It's not impossible. You're still doing it. How many weeks later? So, wake up 30 minutes earlier. Even if you just start out saying, I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier 3 days a week, and devote that 30 minutes to a power pocket. Right? That's an hour and a half a week extra that you weren't doing before. I think how much can be done in an hour and a half. Stay up 30 minutes later. Yeah, you'll be freaking tired, but don't have a cup of coffee if you're doing 80-day session. But you know what I mean? 30 minutes, big picture, is not going to make things that much harder. But it'll make things that much more productive. She plans her weeks on Sundays. I'm not saying every little detail. She doesn't have her post written out word for word for every single post, because life happens and we post about that. But she plans her week on Sundays. When she's going to work, when she's going to have family time, and what things are happening that week that may throw that off. And she does it for her team too. She said for February, Valentine's Day throws people off sometimes. Tax time, people are a little bit tighter on money. Some people have more money. She doesn't plan challenge groups for when school goes back in session because people are in this crazy new schedule. Things like that. She shares them with her team month by month. She says, these are the obstacles we're going to face this month, and this is what we're going to do about it. So Janelle and I both said we want to sit down and start doing monthly calendars again. We want to sit down and say, this is what you can expect from this month, and stick to it. I know for me, I stopped doing monthly calendars because things didn't have enough participation on my team. So I just kind of said, to each their own. But I'm going to start doing those calendars. And if you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, you're not, because I'm going to run with it. Her tips were amazing. And if you're on my team, there's a live stream of her entire freaking talk. I know Jess and Jess, you both watched it. I say that, and all of my 3 girls on here are Jessica's. So, but I'm pretty sure you all watched it. Like, it was so good. I think, let's see. And her other big thing was schedule your unplugged time. Seriously, we're all about schedule your work time. Let's schedule that unplugged time too and stick with it. No matter who messages you, no matter if it's me, if it's a potential, if it's one of your coaches, stick with your unplugged time, because if you don't, that's how you're going to resent the business. That's how your spouse is going to resent the business, and you don't want to get there. You want them to get there. My husband and I sat down and had a really long talk about this is what we're going to do to reach these goals, and this is going to be the payoff for it. And we made a schedule that we can both be happy with, and that is so, so important. He may not be a coach, but this is our future that we're investing into, you know? So think of it that way.
Sure. So you guys, the next topic was called Faith Over Fear. And this was another one by Kim Fitzpatrick. And so again, it was your brand is your truth. So we all have a purpose, no matter what your faith system is, no matter what your belief system is. We all are here for a reason, right? So her big quote was, turn your mess into your message. There's ways to do this. Hear your truth, you guys. You don't have to get into the nitty gritty and the traumas and the bad things that have happened to you, but you can use your mess and turn it into a message for other people to heal. So what she called branding, branding to her is healing and helping. It's about helping yourself help other people. So by sharing where your life was versus where it is now and showing people that they can do the same, that is what your brand essentially boils down to. So she had the 3 R's. So write these down. It is to be real. It is to be relatable with your struggles and your discoveries. So I don't know what that was. But with what you're struggling with, you know, no one is perfect. That's what makes it amazing that we all get to know each other and that we all, you know, we all just learn from each other because we are not the same. We all have something that we can learn and give to other people. There's a lot of personal development on that, you guys. I struggled for so long thinking I had nothing to offer. You guys, we all have so much to offer. And the 3rd R is to be resourceful. So if you give value to others, you will be valued in return. So it could be things like tips, fitness or not, healthy snacks for your kids, healthy snacks for being on the road or while you're at work, life hacks. She said something, I never had one of these, but one of those Did you? So for moms who have fed bottles, there's like this bottle dryer that looks like a patch of grass. And she was like, mamas, don't throw this away. Use it for your shaker cups. I don't know, life hack, right? I don't know why it stuck with me. I never had one of those, but it stuck with me. Own your personality and who you are. I feel like so often we're looking for inspiration from other coaches, you know, what to post and what to say and what to do. We're looking for their scripts because we want to know what works for them. But you guys, what works for Bonnie Engel isn't going to work for me. So you own your personality and who you are. That is your superpower, is that you are yourself. What has shaped you into the person you are today? You know, find your fun side. We all need a fun side. I am so guilty of not being super fun all the time. And it's something that I'm working on. Like, let go, let loose, let people see that side of you. That's what's real, you know? And the last thing I wrote down from her was just to be unapologetically you. We are wellness. Your brand truly matters. You know, you're not a tree, so let your roots go out, you know, move around and wherever you are in your life, just own it and share it. So the other thing I wrote down from her was that your first 3 sentences in your posts are going to be the attention catchers, because you guys know that you can write a little bit and then it says see more. So make that grasping. Don't be like, my workout's done today, because honestly, no one cares. Like, no one cares that we work out, right? So your first 3 sentences should capture the attention of your audience. So again, faith over fear. Just be you and know that you have something to offer. And if you don't feel like you do on a given day, do some personal development and get over it and post, because you have something for someone. You don't know what the posts are that's going to, change someone else's life, but post anyway.
She talked about how people love to give their opinions. That is always a good way to make connections, to get conversations started. People love to tell you what they think. So when you're making those connections, make them feel good. Don't make them feel like another sale. Make them feel like a friend, your social media buddy. You know what I mean? Make them feel good. Make them feel appreciated. And when you're posting, share everything. Share your fears. Share your growth, the negative, the positive. You've got to share all of that. People are more likely to be attracted to you if they feel similar to you, if they feel like they can connect to you and relate to you. And so she said, you've got to share all of that nitty gritty, good, bad, ugly, everything, if you want people to relate to you. Because no matter if it's that you're working full time or you're a mom or X, Y, and Z is happening in your life right now, someone else out there is going through it too, or going through something similar, and they know what you're going through and they can connect to you and they're going to remember that. So that's
So my next topic that I had was Insta Stories with Bonnie Engel. And so again, we've talked brand, you guys. A huge theme of NLC was your brand and just being who you are and being unapologetic with that. But so 3 to 4 to 5 real things about you daily, attracting to where you are in your life is where you want to be posting. So for me, I have mom life. So I'm a busy mom, healthy snacks for kids, healthy snacks for me, my animals, my business, and of course, fitness and wellness. But, make a list of things about you. And then make another list, you guys. So that's your first list. And then your second list is, why is your life different because of Beachbody? One of the things that she does that I think is really cool, and if you're on our team, we have a coach Facebook sneak peek. I think it's the 19th. But she actually does a 3-day live public sneak peek to coaching on her Insta stories, and is constantly inviting to her Facebook group during that. So she is posting. She does this 1 to 2 times a month on Instagram stories. And over these 3 days, she's addressing objections. So question, misconceptions, why she started coaching. She's inviting over and over to her Facebook page that's happening at the same time. And she's highlighting simplicity. She's fun and engaging. This job is not rocket science. And I feel like a lot of the times our Facebook groups are saturated with so much information that it gets overwhelming. But if you are just being fun, you're talking about what it is. Here's what I'm doing right now. I'm checking into my challenge group. I am, checking on my coaches. I'm just being very, very real and just very simple about the tasks that a coach does during the day. And be the coach that you want to attract. Be fun, be silly, because those fun, silly people are going to say, what are you doing? I'm interested. And show the possibilities, not necessarily income related, because I know that income can be very touchy and it can be really taboo, but show the possibilities of where you were versus where you are. That's where that list came into play. It's really important to give that transformation of where you were before coaching and why someone else should jump on board with you. So
it doesn't have to be a big brand thing. You know what I mean? Like Janelle said, it doesn't have to be this big income thing. It could be something little like how you feel or a little moment. It doesn't have to be a grand transformation.
Right. And if you guys use hashtags in your Instagram stories, you will gain more traction. I've tried it, and if you do geotagging in your Instagram stories as well, it actually reaches more people. I've tested it. It does work a lot. So include your life, not just coaching, but include your entire life in your Instagram stories. Just give people a sneak peek. We always say like, oh, I wish I could be a fly on the wall. Allow people to be a fly on the wall into your life. Because that is, again, what is going to connect you to people. And that's what's going to attract people to you. And if you haven't yet, turn your Instagram page into a business page, because you get analytics and you actually see who's looking at your stories. And I believe they go back 2 weeks. So even if your story is gone, it's still going to show you who looked at that story. So you can reach out to those people. I'm so guilty of this, you guys. I have these Instagram stories and I don't use the analytics on them. So if 200 people saw my story, I'm not doing anything with it. We need to be doing things and connecting with the people who are coming back and constantly watching our stories because they're interested in us. So invite them to be your friend, right? And then she also said in your Instagram stories to make recommendations of products, that whole micro influencer thing. Recommend products for better credibility from people. You're not just using Beachbody products, you're using, if there's like a face mask or a face wash or something that you're using, recommend stuff to people because we love to hear what other people are using. So just be human and just be real. That's really what NLC just boiled down to, is just be a real person and have conversations.
One of her big quotes, and this is the only thing I'm going to add, is people don't buy a ticket for a train if they don't know the destination. So ultimately, all of this, showing your life and showing your business, all of that, you still want people to know what to expect, where you're going with it, what you're going to do with it. People are not going to hop on board if you have no idea what the heck you're doing, because then they're going to have no idea what the heck they're doing. So just keep that in mind. People don't, want to get on board with you if they can't know what to expect from you. So that brings it back to that consistency. You're not going to attract people that are consistent if you're not being consistent.
Yes. They had a really big topic on new coach training. I'm not going to go over that tonight, you guys, but you're going to start seeing more of how we can help people get started better as coaches. I think that we overthink it a lot, and I'm really excited to kind of change our focus for that. So that's a story for another day, because I'm not keeping you guys up here until midnight because I will not make it. So let's see. I'm going to touch super, super quick on compliance because that was a topic. And it's really not something I'm spending a lot of time on. Our team's incredible. We are amazing people. But your actions online and in person set the tone for who you are. And we are Beachbody ambassadors. And I personally, I take that seriously, think about how you would want people to remember you, right? So, where we are Beachbody ambassadors, we should be conducting ourselves in a professional manner. We're still on social media, so have fun, obviously, be yourself. But if you're screaming Beachbody and you're a complete, not a good person, you're going to give the company, I don't know.
You can joke, you can vent about things, but don't be that person that starts trash talking, whether it's another company or just something in general. Don't be the person that starts trash talking and engaging in all sorts of drama that's going to look bad on you. That sort of thing. They just really reminded us that you just don't want to be that person, because you might rub somebody wrong. Yes, no fights on Facebook, y'all. We are adults here, right? Just don't be. And honestly, as sad as this is, he was able to use examples from other companies. It works. Prove it even. Don't go poaching other coaches. Don't go poaching, other MLM people. No poaching, no stealing, no drama. Just remember that you are an adult, and how you act on social media stays on social media. It's not one of those things like happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas. It is there. Even if you delete it, someone saw it, and they're going to remember that. So just little things like that to keep in mind.
Yeah. Make sure if you're talking about money, you're using an income disclaimer, and we're not making any false claims about our products. We're not saying it's going to cure anything. We're not saying. I actually got a message from someone from a different company who told me that her product will cure my mom's cancer. So why don't I try it? And you guys can better believe I flipped my shit. honestly, and I'm not a shit flipper. But so anyway, you guys, just it was actually a really great conversation, but just remember, be a good person
and you won't have anything to worry about.
And
if you ever make some kind of income thing and compliance reaches out to you, know that you're not in trouble. It's happened to me like 6 times. Jemima's constantly like, hey, there's your disclaimer, put it on there. You're not in trouble. It's not going to like stick to your Beachbody account and they're going to hate you like that. It's literally just Beachbody has to protect itself, just so that for all sorts of FTC and laws and all of that good stuff. So it's not you. You're not in trouble. If compliance says something to you, just, okay, thanks. You're good. It's really easy.
But yeah, I can't stress enough. Just we don't have to talk about other companies. I've never talked about I don't even say rap in my posts. One of the biggest things that I always feel is that I want to attract people to me by sharing what I have to offer, like why I'm better. I don't have to talk about what's not as good. I just don't even give the time of day. So like I said, we don't have to spend a ton of time on that. Our team's incredible and I love us. So I think the second to last thing, because I kind of want to talk about what Carl said, is to how to create Metro. Honestly, you guys, I feel like this is going to be really confusing for me to talk about. So what I might do is actually just make a visual for you. I feel like it's just, I don't know, Candace, what do you think? I feel like it's a lot of print out a calendar and put things here and there. And I feel like I should just make a visual of it.
Yeah, I think a visual would be good. I mean, there are a couple points that I can go over. She reiterated a lot of what she said when she was talking about balance, because a lot of it comes back down to scheduling and knowing what you're doing when, so that you're not just winging it, you're not grasping at the last second, then you're stressing yourself out. You know what I mean? She just really talks a lot about being clear on what you're hoping to get out of your business, because keeping that in mind is going to help you get there. Break down your goals and make those into action steps. It's one thing to make a to-do list, and it's another thing to actually do your to-do list. So she said, let's see, sitting down to plan, anticipated obstacles like we talked about, setting your own personal goals. Not just winging it. Don't sit down and be like, shoot, I haven't posted all day. What in the world can I say? I'm ready to go to bed. Make plans. And I'm not saying you have to plan word for word every post during the week, but have an idea of things to plan. Have an idea of posts to make, when you want to make them. Transformation Tuesdays, Thankful Thursday, Flashback Friday, whatever it may be. Just have something there that you can grab. She says sometimes if something really good does come to her, she just writes it in the notes section of her phone. When she needs a post, she can post it, super easy. She talks about challenge groups for 7 to 10 days before they start. And she said even she doesn't always get traction or a lot of bites until about day 4 or 5 of talking about it. Because then people are like, oh man, she really is, going to do this. It's going to be really great. So talk a lot about it. Don't just one call to action or 2 call to actions. It doesn't even have to be a call to action. Just talk about it. Drop it in your post. Same with business opportunities, whatever it may be. And just really turning your plan into purposeful and strategic actions, brainstorming, and repurposing what worked and scrapping what didn't. Don't ever stress if something didn't work. Just say, okay, I'm not going to do that again, on to the next thing, or on to what I know I had really good success with last. Just keep what works. Keep using what works, repurpose it, and just forget about what didn't. It's okay. We all have things that we've done that ended up being a huge flop. We do. And just don't do it again. Simple as that. Don't fear failure. That's what she said. You don't need to fear failing. Fear being in the same place 1 year from now as you are today.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. Yeah, you guys, I'll make a visual of what she said, because I was kind of so I'm going to make a visual.
She had her own calendar up on the screen for us, so.
Yeah. And then she just said, don't reinvent the wheel every month. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Do the same thing monthly. so it becomes habit. So you know that like on the first Monday of every month, your new coach training starts or whatever it may be. All right, you guys. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, Carl came out at the end, and this is like my big theme of my life, and so I think it's just really important to talk about, because I tell my team all the time, I love, and I say, if you do something with the intent of love behind you, then you will be limitless. So you guys, our company is incredible. Carl came out and was just talking to us about love, about how, this company, I think they hit, what if they hit $100 million and someone said, that's nice, you guys won't be around much longer. And so he said, I'm going to make it a 200 million company. And they did that. And then they kept going. And then they made it $1 billion company, you guys, because Carl has heart. And he truly believes in what he does, you guys. We're not just selling things here. We are helping people every day. And yes, there is an element of sales to that. Yes. But when your intent behind that is to help someone change their life the way our lives have been changed, there should be no oh my God, I just
Did you hear that?
I thought it was a man at first, and I was like, who is yelling?
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I literally thought it was a man in the house yelling. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die. Okay. So anyway, I'm back to my
I'm so sorry.
So anyway, Carl said that happiness comes from service, which comes from a place of love. So if we have this feeling of love, and we're not guiding ourselves by fear, and if we're working from the right place, we are good. Oh, there he is. There's the dog. So he said, let go of fear and toxicity, you guys. There's going to be ups and downs in this business. You are going to have conflict. You are going to have moments where you feel like it's you can't do it. But if you come back to that place of love, there's actually a hashtag that I think that we should all start using, and it's IDTTSOL, and it stands for I dedicate this moment to the service of love. And that's something that Carl uses all the time, and I just thought it was really beautiful. And he said, set the goal and make it work, and just work from the right place and work from your heart, you guys. Yes, we need to work. We need to put our heads down. We need to send our invites. We need to message. We need to do the things that make us uncomfortable. I am the first one to say I have shied away when it gets uncomfortable for me. I have had the negative self-talk. I've had the doubts. I've had the fears. And this year I'm choosing love, and I'm choosing to come from that place that, I wouldn't talk to another coach the way I talk to myself in my head. I wouldn't tell another coach you can't do that. I wouldn't tell another coach you're not good enough to lead a team. So why is it okay to say it to myself? I wouldn't tell another coach that they aren't a good enough leader. I wouldn't tell another coach that you can't hit diamond, because every single one of you can hit your goal. If your goal is diamond, you can hit that goal. There are coaches everywhere who are still rank advancing, who are still signing coaches, who are still doing this business and bringing their business forward. We can all do this, and we just have to get into the right mindset, and we have to just all hold each other accountable and love each other and make this decision together to push. And it's going to get uncomfortable, and it's going to be scary, and it's, I don't want to send the invite, and we're going to get people, we're going to get pushback, and we're going to get all those things. But what we have to do is just stop hesitating. And when the fear and thoughts start creeping in, get clear on our purpose and just come back to why we're starting and why we're doing this. Because you guys, this is the best job in the world. Like, it really, really is. This weekend was incredible. I learned so much from all of the leaders in our business.
If it's not on your goal board to go to NLC, put it on your freaking goal board right now. Like, amazing.
I can see why. My corporate mentor has told me like 3-4 times this is her favorite event of the year. I'm sure leadership is incredible too, but you guys, this is like new leaders. This is where your business begins. And it was just incredible. So you guys, if you have any questions, you're welcome, Jessica. I hope this was helpful. You guys, 2 meetings. I'm so sorry that we kept you on for so long, but I can't believe that all of you are still here. And I'm glad that all of you are still here. Like I said, I hope that this was helpful. Feel free to message us with any questions that you have. If you want us to elaborate on anything, totally happy
Things
to
will
do
be
that.
changing on both of our teams. I think I speak for both of us. We're going to be changing things and for the better. And so we'll share with you as we go along what we're doing and why. But know that it all literally comes from these 6 pages of notes that we both scribbled like mad women. But it's going to be really good, I think. And we both have so much motivation and inspiration right now that, sorry, don't mind boxers. The men in this house. Stop! Turn the light on. Just know, like, we are here for y'all 100%.
We are a family, so let's all do this. Let's do this. All right. So you guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.